Yay, welcome! It's beautiful to see you on this Maundy Thursday, where we acknowledge and appreciate and remember the Last Supper when Jesus was with his disciples and he washed their feet. And that model of servant leadership has rippled throughout time, throughout eternity. And we're here right now. Catherine and I have worked together before in leadership and in Purium, and we are very excited to bring in more of our colleagues to share our story about how through prayer we found Purium, and through Purium we found an even deeper relationship with God. There's been clarity and empowerment with our health and our wealth, and he is with us, walking this journey with us. So I'll just quickly start and share my story. I'm Veronica Michelle Campbell, and I did not grow up with religion. I did not grow up with a spiritual guidance. I was left to seek on my own, and that is a very privileged place to be for a woman throughout time. Not a lot of women have been able to say that they could actually be a seeker and interact with the different traditions that are available to us for our spiritual development. At 27, I found Jesus and I understood him to be my personal savior. He literally did pull me from the pit, and I now am renewed like the eagle, and my youth is glowing. So I am 39, and I get, dates with 10 years younger guys who are 10 years younger. I'm just saying. So I am renewed every day. Now, this was not true since I was saved at 27. I experienced a lot of different kinds of spiritual attack. I still had sickness in me and around me. And I was praying very deeply in the middle of COVID that this digestion had to be more easy. I got kitchen anxiety, and the kitchen anxiety would transmute through the whole day. I didn't feel like I could even depend on myself to show up to meetings shining and delivering like my genius, because there was always something going on in my gut. And I knew a lot about the agricultural industry and the pharmaceuticals, and it just got me angry and cynical. And I prayed to God. I said, please, there's got to be something simpler. This is the foundation of how to be human on the planet, like what we ingest of your creation. And he said that I got to take my detoxing seriously. It got to be my full-time job. And it was no longer a hobby that I just dabbled in, but it was something I got to go full forward in, like it was my full-time job. And it was just a couple weeks later that I found my friend Jason, who also followed the same spiritual teacher, who was very much like pointing towards Jesus as the leader. Jesus is the leader of our every step in God's will. So when he, as a 25-year-old, 25 years in health and wellness, he said Purium is the best. I trusted him, just like I trusted God. And I started to trust myself, because I took these products. They felt really good. I literally, in 3 days, I felt the difference in 3 days, from drinking a whole bottle of wine to myself and eating a whole bag of chips to myself, to taking my gut health really seriously. It was 3 days, and I haven't looked back. So that's my quick story, and I'm happy to invite Catherine to share.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Brown, and my journey started, I've always been into health and wellness, but I didn't actually realize that what I was doing wasn't really that healthy. And because I also, so a quick background of my story and how I came to Purium. In 2020, November, I was at a point where I was going to end my life. And so my life started with being adopted. I struggled with having abandonment issues and all the things. And so my story I told myself was that I wasn't lovable, that no one would love me. So I basically was proving my story right my whole life by dating people who would leave me, abuse me, cheat on me, and all the things. And eventually I would be abandoned, like I proved myself to be. And so my life was all about struggling with loving myself. And one of the things I turned to was also drugs and alcohol. And I was a party girl. I wasn't I wasn't addicted, but every time I drank, I'd do cocaine and all the things. So I was living my life as a death sentence, but I was also eating healthy and doing the things. So there was really a gap somewhere. There's really something that I was lacking, which was the love for myself. So in 2020, I also found out that I was the product of a rape. So the story of my birth father, even though, however, I didn't know who he was personally, the story that I was told for over 40 years happened to be a lie. And I found out that I was the product of a rape. So in my mind, and also not being of faith at that time, I believed I lost an identity. And that identity brought me to another point in my life. I was working for the federal government of Canada. And in 2020, I realized that I was being abused. I was being bullied, harassed, and discriminated against. And I was pushed out during the pandemic onto employment insurance. I've worked since I was 16. I was now 48 at the time, and I have never not worked. So in that essence, I felt like I lost another identity. So in a matter of a few months, I lost two identities in the way of society sees it. And I fell to my knees one day in November, and I was like, I pled out to God. I was ready to end my life. I was crying every day, and I fell to my knees and I was like, God, if this is my life, I don't want it. And I said, if you don't take it, I will. And in the same breath, I said, if it is my life, please take over, because I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. And in those moments of surrender, he took over. He led me. I got my job back, for one. And then he led me to my friend's Take Action Challenge, which led me to her leadership program, where I also won $2,000. I wasn't working. I won $2,000. So I was able to jump into her leadership program, where I then went on to coach and mentor in the last year. I also was met with Purium in that same breath. Like in January, I was led to the challenge and to Purium. And in those times, and God is leading this whole time. Like he's fast forwarding and like accelerating me through all the things that I get to do, because all the years that I wasn't living my purpose, he's now catching me up. And I know he's using my story for good, even though it was so traumatic to me, but he gave it to me for a reason. And I'm living that reason right now. And through Purium, I have leveled up in my health like no other. I don't have food cravings like I used to. I'm sleeping better. And I don't know if you heard me say earlier, in 2020, I was 48. I'm now 50, turning 51. And I do not have I've never done any injections, any sort of fillers. This is all natural. And I am just feeling really blessed because God is moving me. He's introducing me to beautiful communities, and we are now standing together so we can rise up together so we can rise out. And that's what this is all about. It's about taking back our health. I am holding a summit on 18th and 19th of April. You guys are all welcome to come and bring people. It is all about taking back your health, because during those times of stress that I was going through during the time when I was because I'm taking on the federal government right now. I'm standing up against them and I'm taking them on. I filed grievances. And during those times though, I fell into this depression, and through Purium, with Purium products, I've been able to stay above, and God has brought this to me so that I am healthy inside and out. So mind, body, and soul, God is guiding me, and I'm just so grateful. So there's my, that's a little bit of my story. If you want to hear more, you can more than welcome to reach out to me at any time. Thank you. And I'm going to pass it on to Azaria. Thank you, Azaria.
Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm so blessed by your story, Catherine, and you too, Veronica. Thank you for sharing um, these powerful, powerful testimonies. This is such a blessing. And okay, so me, I found God. I didn't grow up in a religious household neither, and so, but I did grow up, eating fast foods, 3 times a day, fast foods, Starbucks, 2, 3 times a day. And eventually that stuff catches up to you, you cannot have a trash food diet without it affecting us in some way or another, so 10 years, well, I ended up getting having anxiety attacks and really bad like depression. And it was really like a spiritual attack. And I didn't understand what was going on. It was just all of a sudden, this was in 2010. And I told one of my aunts, and she's like a really devout Christian. And she was like, "Oh, the enemy is attacking you." I'm like, "What?" Like I didn't know how to feel. I just knew that I needed relief because I was going to the emergency rooms and the doctors were just prescribing medications that did not work and made everything worse. And I just wanted to be able to sleep at night because, the spiritual attacks and the anxiety attacks wouldn't let me sleep. And so when I told my aunt, she was like, "We need to go to church to prayer." And so that's when I came to Christ. That was in 2010 when I came to Christ because of all these anxiety attacks and depression. And, of course, I started to feel better. But coming to the church, the diet part, the healthy diet, changing to a healthy diet, that's never addressed in the church. And so I was going to church with a bunch of sick people, and I was like, still, kind of not feeling my best. I still wasn't able to sleep throughout the night. And, I was having a lot of gut issues, digestive issues. I didn't have any energy. I had my son at the time. He was a baby, and I wanted to be able to keep up with him, but I couldn't because I was always so tired because I was still doing fast foods, in the church. Like I said, the diet part is not addressed. So, um, but in 2013, in the church, we decided we would do a 40-day fast. And so I decided I would do a Daniel fast based on the book of Daniel in the Bible. And so for 40 days, I did fruits, vegetables, and water. And I said, "Okay, God, I'm going to do this for 40 days, Daniel fast 40 days, and then I'll go back to eating meat and, go back to normal." But in 40 days, I lost 30 pounds and I was able to sleep throughout the night. And I was like, feeling much better. I started exercising and feeling more clear-minded. I was like, at the end of the 40 days, I was like, why am I going to go back to eating animal products if I feel so good this way? And so anyways, so that's how I became vegan. It was 10 years ago. And so as I learned more and more, I went more towards the fruit-based vegan. So I was already like pretty healthy when Alice found me from Purium, and she introduced me to Purium. And I didn't know I could reach another level, but like I said, I was like, my gut still wasn't healed. And so I was still not, up to my best until I found Purium. And that's, the Purium has just taken my faith and strengthened my relationship with God and shown me just how powerful, these foods are. I really believe these superfoods are from God, and so they've just elevated me to another level. And I'm so grateful for these superfoods. And like I said, the biomedic, just healing the gut system, has just given me a whole other level of self-esteem and confidence. So yeah, so I really, really am so grateful to be here with you all. And thank you so much for giving me this time to share. And I guess I'll pass it on to Jennifer now. Thank you.
I'm like so inspired by all your guys' stories. I'm just like, wow, like it just gives me more and more belief, like, why Purium, is where it's at now. And it's, you know, it's growing right now. I know there's people placing orders, you know, like just going to, you know, a whole nother level. And just like a little quick story, like of how I found God. So when I can't remember exactly, but I pretty much grew up like as a Catholic, and I would go to Catholic, I guess, well, like at Catholic school, I guess you would say. And I don't know, I just kind of felt it was just something I was just following since, you know, my mom was doing it, you know, my dad was doing it, like I was just kind of following their footsteps. Didn't really know what I was getting into. I'm just like, oh, okay, like Catholic school, you know, like I felt like I was learning, but not really. And then like I was in high school and I was talking to two girls, and they were telling me about this local church called Crossroads in Corona, California. And I was like, okay, like, you know, I'll check it out. You know, they're all telling me about it and stuff. And I forgot how many times like me and my mom were going. And then one day, like we just got baptized, but I don't think I really understood it now since I've, you know, been baptized, you know, like after that and really like committing, because I was doing a social media fast. And that really helped me a lot. That really got me closer to God because, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one who struggles with social media, being addicted and stuff. So I was just so into it. Like it felt like I'm living, you know, I'm like, dude, there's actually people who don't have social media and they're like having the best life ever. And I'm like, it felt good. You know, I was recording myself. And if you guys want to check it out, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. And it was just a really good time. And I was planning on getting baptized after my social media fast, right? And then I went to church one day and God pulled through. He's like, you got to get baptized. And I'm like, no, I want to wait, you know? And then God's like, no, you're going to get baptized. So I got baptized that night. And literally once I went down and I went up, I was like, like I felt like a whole new person. I'm like, okay, that was God, you know, like everything of what I was experiencing, it's out the window. I'm a whole new person. I'm feeling good. But, you know, like how I don't want to say your name, Azaria. I think I'm saying your name right. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but you know, I kind of feel like the diet, you know, it was just not really good. Even though I was vegan, I'm like, I'm still eating this processed food. I've worked at 2 vegan restaurants. They give out food for free. And I'm like, I still wasn't feeling good, even though I'm like, oh, I'm saving animals, I'm saving the planet, you know, I'm doing something good, but I wasn't feeling good, you know? So I started my vegan journey in 2016 and January 1st, 2016. And I'm so glad I did. I did my mistakes, of course, along the way, but ultimately, like, I just felt so much better in a way because, you know, when I was eating animal products before, I wasn't feeling good. And that ultimately led me to have high blood pressure and high cholesterol when I was a teenager. But this was before my vegan journey. So I want to kind of get into just about, you know, like why I'm here today. And I just want to give you guys a little bit more of my backstory. So, you know, I was born and raised in Anaheim, Orange County. You know, I grew up eating the SAD diet, AKA the standard American diet, like everyone else. And like I was saying, you know, when I was a teenager, I found out I had high blood pressure and high cholesterol. From that point, I didn't go vegan immediately, but, you know, I just started exercising about 3 to 4 times a week, eating more fruits and vegetables daily. You know, I've always been aware and told, you know, fruits and vegetables are healthy, you know, good for you, especially for your like immune system, your brain function, just overall great health. And, you know, like I said, 2016, that's when I started my vegan journey. And, you know, there's actually a lot of food that I was like more open to try than I was when I wasn't vegan. And then in 2021, that's when I started my superfood journey. And that was helping me a lot, just with like my mental health, my emotional health, like, you know, ultimately everything you do eat, you know, like it does catch up to you, and it can really affect your mental health, your emotions, just, you know, how you move a lot of things, whether it's like I'm going to go outside to exercise, go on a walk. So yeah, that was something like I felt I was like, okay, enough is enough, you know. And what I loved about I did the 10-day cleanse, and it didn't even take that long because I was struggling with right hip pain from cycling a lot from my stationary bike. So that helped out a lot. Like my hip pain went away. It helped clear up my skin, and my energy was increased too. Not as much as I felt when I went vegan. I kind of felt a little bit, but not as much as like it was when I was like, okay, like, you know, the superfoods are definitely helping me out a lot. And so I just kind of really want to get into my why, because
Go for it. Give it to us.
I went hard on it today because I'm like, you know what, like I want to get like really deep on this, you know? So basically, if you guys don't know, I'm 26 years old and I just had a baby. She's 6 months years old. So that's my why. It's for her. It's for my baby and other future generations that are going to come. I want to teach my daughter and future generations that health is something that should be prioritized daily, especially when we wake up, you know, because depending on how long you sleep, you know, like it could be 7, 8, 9 hours, you know, we're not eating, you know, and the first thing you want to do is, you know, eat some fruits, you know, eat some veggies, you know, start with a power shake, barley green juice, green spectrum, whatever you want to do, you know. So I really been implementing that. And it's just as important, you know, as sleeping, brushing our teeth, drinking water, you know, reading the Bible, spending time with God, going to church, you know, all of those are just as important as our health. And then I found out I was pregnant in January 2022. I was like about 11 weeks when I found out, when I went to I believe it was my first appointment. And then like I started taking consideration and just being like really cautious just about a lot of things I was taking. You know, since I did say I had high blood pressure and high cholesterol in the past, they were recommending me to take baby aspirin. So basically like the low dose aspirin, you know, for my blood pressure from the past. And I'm just like, okay, I guess, you know, but I was just like, didn't really know like why would they recommend it, because I didn't know about the ingredients. And then I was talking to Kevin about it, and like the ingredients shocked me. I even looked it up today because I wanted to share an ingredient that was in there. So I don't know if you guys are aware of a DNC yellow number 10 aluminum lake. So basically that is an FDA approved color commonly used to dye dosage forms such as tablets and capsules. And like that was just like, wow, like they're putting a dye in this and they're recommending me to take this, you know, with the other dyes that are in, you know, aspirin. And I'm like, how is this healthy? Why would like I take this as a pregnant woman? I'm trying to make sure I give my baby the best nutrition and stuff. So I'm like, I was just, okay, like, I guess, but not really. Like when they ask me, oh, are you taking your aspirin? I'm just like, yeah, you know, but they didn't know that I found the heart aid, you know, that of what Purium has. So that was really helping, you know, managing my blood pressure. So basically, if you could take anything away from my share today, you know, just always read your labels at the grocery store. Whenever you buy something, if you come across an ingredient that like you never heard of or can't pronounce, it's just best that you stay away from it. And also too, like anyone who's catching the replay, you know, if you're trying to get pregnant, you just found out, or you're currently in your 2nd or 3rd trimester, please reach out, because every new mama should have the best nutrition while you're going a miracle in your body. And I'm definitely looking forward to anyone, you know, who is in this stage in their life, you know, let's connect, because, you know, the first, you know, what we can do is, you know, just to make sure that we're putting our health first, because health is wealth. And yeah, that's my share. And thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you, Jenny. Thank you. I am so excited because you guys have all touched on points that I wanted to get to today. And it's like how the Holy Spirit moves through. We didn't plan our conversation or our shares, but I am so grateful for God's ability to move through us and really deliver. So let's go deeper on a couple of things. Aspirin is made by who? Who makes aspirin? Bayer. And Bayer now owns Monsanto. And Monsanto is the creator of the Roundup chemical that has been used for multiple generations, under the story that it's for feeding the world's population, making sure that there's enough food, but that's the lie. And we are here gathered in the truth of God's word. And Janae is here. I love you. Mwah! Welcome. Welcome. So standing for the truth, I learned a lot about the chemical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and its relationship with the agricultural industry. We don't need to be veiled in the deception anymore, because we have access to God's creation. All the nutrients we need are in this power shake. And the 50 some products that are on the line of Purium are pure and premium. The company is full of integrity and full of prayer, and we get to experience it so that we can have a 7-generation vision of what is possible now, a 7-generation vision of who we get to be now, to be that ancestor that 7 generations from now, they will be able to say, we stood in the truth and we celebrated, we danced, we cheersed, green drink. We cheersed and we celebrated, we danced, we got married, even in, and had babies, even in what is a very scary time to be on the planet. We celebrated, we smiled, we rejoiced in his truth, because we get to share in these amazing products. So the reason I bring up the glyphosate is because this company is the only company on the planet that has the glyphosate solution. Glyphosate is the particular chemical in the Roundup, and that's right, Azaria mentioned it earlier, the biomedic. That's why I do this now, because the biomedic changed my life. It is pre and probiotic spores. So it's actually going to be rehabilitating the population of good gut bacteria. If you just take a probiotic or just a prebiotic, you're missing what's actually happening, where one eats the other. And that's what you want. You want the ecosystem to be sustainable. So the spores together, and then there's a proprietary blend of herbs that through a third-party research group proved that biomedic reduces glyphosate by 74% over just 6 weeks. And this is the only company that's got it going on, and it's extremely affordable. I can't tell you how surprised I was that, you know, it's $45 on a loyalty program with our promo codes. It's $45 for a month's supply. I sometimes double it up because I love it so much, but there is options. There's options out there, but this is the best. This is the best. So I just want to share that that's my favorite product of the whole line, and invite the girls to share what their favorite is and why. Azaria, how about you go? Because I don't see Catherine right now.
Okay. No, yeah, I definitely, biomedic, of course, that's the top of the top, the best of the best. Like I said, it's really increased my self-esteem, my confidence, to be more, go on social media, make myself seen more. And of course, the power shake. I'm in love with this green shake, the most powerful green shake on the planet. Is the power of 6 superfood salads in one shake. I take 2 to 3 a day, and I love it. It just takes your health to another level. And I feel like, it's just, like I said, it just strengthens my connection to God even more. And I just get more, more messages from God, and to speak to the world, to help us transition over to this new heaven and this new earth that we want to create on our planet, to be healthier, to be stronger, to be wiser, because what I realize is that the toxic foods are dumbing down the people of our planet. And so God is trying to do something about this. God wants to change the trajectory of humanity for the better, for the best, for our children to have a beautiful heaven on earth future that they deserve just as much as we do.
Thank you, Azaria. And Jenny, bring it home.
Got you. So one thing of what I've been really loving since I am breastfeeding is the barley green juice. Like I have been feeling so much more like my milk is just it's there, you know. I don't have to like worry about, you know, oh my gosh, like am I going to produce enough milk? Am I going to have enough milk, you know? And I'm like, even like when I'm feeding her, like I'm hearing it and I'm like, you know what, every time like I'm giving her, you know, milk, like, you know, it's so good. Like I don't have to like rely on all these supplements and, you know, like people saying or they're making claims like, oh, you know, do this and it's gonna work. And I promise you and stuff, you know, but I'm like, the superfoods in general have been helping me a lot with my milk supply, but just the barley green juice, like that has been a game changer for me. So like if you know anyone who is breastfeeding or, you know, you're trying to get pregnant and, you know, you want to just get more information about it, like try it out. We do have a 60-day money back guaranteed. Not many people, you know, get a refund though, because, you know, you start feeling the, forgive me, you start feeling the transformation like immediately, you know, like it took away my hip pain. You know, I was having right hip pain when I was cycling, you know, my skin is clearing up and, you know, my energy is just good. Like I want to go outside more. Like I don't find myself wanting to sit around, eat a bag of chips, you know, eat candy. And like, I'm like, no, like that's out the window. Like, let's go outside. Like, you know, let's play a game of soccer. Like, let's go swimming. Like, I want to get more connected with nature and just be more out there, you know? So barley green juice, you know, best, you know, thing of one has helped a lot with my milk production. So get some barley green juice if you're breastfeeding, guys. It's amazing.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. So I want to know if there's anyone with any questions. We're here to answer any questions right now. You can put the question in the chat if you'd like.
I'm sorry, I came on way too late. I have no idea, but it sounds good. So give me a real quick synopsis on why I should try this.
Awesome. So I'll dive in first. First, exactly what Jenny said. There's a 60-day money back guarantee. Even if you use all the products, we get to support you in just filling out a form. And it goes to, if you're in Canada, you ship it back to a location in BC. If you're in the States, you ship it back to headquarters in Los Angeles, and they process it and you get your money back. 60 days. You are safe. You are safe financially and physically. So the reason why this is the best product on the planet is because of the integrity with which Dave Sandoval, the founder, has gone about learning and implementing soil health as well as processing. So these fruits and vegetables are grown in the best soil quality, miles and miles away from any other farm that does any spraying. And in 48 hours, it is turned into the dehydrated product that you receive. That dehydration process is unlike most other companies. It's a wind turbine process. So he took an ancient technology and revitalized it with new technology. And it's a super low heat dehydration. So you get the most amount of enzymes possible. So as soon as you add the water to it, it's alive. The food is alive, unlike what you're getting at the grocery store. So even if you're eating organic, the stuff at the grocery store was picked a week ago. So the enzymes, it's already dying. It's already dead. You know, there's a lot there that is filler. Basically, like I get the broccoli, but like the amount of nutrition I'm getting is not as much as if I had just picked it. Right? So in 48 hours, it goes from the farm through the manufacturing process, the slow wind turbine dehydration, and into the compostable packaging. So the compostable packaging that has been implemented over the last 2 years, it has saved over 80 billion tons, 80 million tons of plastic from the ocean. So you can take the sticker off and throw the packaging into the compost. Even the city compost can process it. And what's the other part of the cycle? Oh yeah, that it's the only company on the planet that has the glyphosate solution. So in our little villa of our gut, there's like lots of territory for glyphosate to get stuck in, and it packs and compounds. So when we have the chemical buildup in our gut, we're actually not even able to take in the nutrition that we're eating. So that's why we feel hungry all the time, because we're actually missing a ton of micronutrients. So that's my quick like cheat sheet about why this is the best, the safest, and I think the most valuable opportunity to connect with how God has made creation and how we get to experience it outside of the deception of the industry and the chemical companies, and totally in the truth of how we are meant to be living in creation and well, glorifying his name really with freedom. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for here. I'll put my picture on. I just got on you. I was just going to say because I just retired, I have very little money, but is there something like a starter kit or something that would be good to start? Because just what to start. Actually, I'm only a block away from where Catherine lives.
Awesome. So there's a few ways you could approach this. You could talk to Catherine about what your budget is, and you could technically buy from her and get the discount that she has already. She has the loyalty discount. So that's one option. The other option is to look at just getting the Biomedic and the green juice, or getting a fruit and veggie starter pack. So there's options at your price point. If you're looking at $100, $200 Canadian, because I understand the conversion there. You get to talk with her and see what's possible, because we have a lot of options.
Okay. I just have one other question. So where do I go to look at what's available?
That's a great question, because we have a lot of landing pages, and
Okay.
so the landing page that you might like is ultpack.com. ultpack.com. And
Okay.
that gives you clearly laid out the different packages that are the ultimate life transformation. The other spot to look at is ishoppurium.com, and you can see the full list of products, the entire line. And you can go through every single item and read the description and get more details about each of the products.
Okay, because what was the rest of the word?
Yeah, ishoppurium.com.
Period.
And what you'll find is you will end up spending less on food, because you're actually getting your gut clear and regenerated, and you're getting the full spectrum of micronutrients that we're missing in our average diet. You won't actually be as hungry, and you won't be craving the more expensive processed foods anymore. That's my experience. I definitely have spent less on food. I do intermittent fasting, and I often will have just one proper meal a day. And the shake and the super aminos are like a meal supplement or meal replacement. And it's working for me. I lost 50 pounds in 6 months, and I haven't put it back on in a whole year.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much for answering my questions.
Absolutely. Anybody else? All right. So we are here. Azaria's here. Jenny's here. Catherine's here too, but she's doing a leadership job right now. She's working it. And I am here, and you were all invited by somebody. So definitely send a message. Let us know what you think. If there's any questions, never hesitate to send a little text message or a messenger message. because this is a passionate pursuit that we're all on board, and we want to get you guys on board too, so we can dance and sing and celebrate and cheers with the green juice, and you know, like, have beautiful visions of 7 generations. 7 generations. Yes, praise the Lord. 7 generations. Our ancestors will be dancing and singing and blessing each other in creation. I love you guys. I love you girls. Oh my gosh.
Love you.
Thank you.
Many blessings.
Happy
Thank you guys so
Easter.
much. Love you guys
Happy
so much.
Easter.
Happy Easter. Bye.